Virtual reality has always been an abstract idea for humans for many decades and has always been brushed aside as an unfeasible futuristic fantasy. However, at the start of the 1930s, Stanley G. Weinbaum wrote a science fiction novel that described a familiar picturesque future that involved a pair of goggles that allows the user to experience a fictional world through holographics, smell, taste, and touch. Although the idea was never made into reality, that all changed in 1965 when Ivan Sutherland created the Ultimate Display. This device provides the user with augmented 3D sound and contains high-end computer hardware to create the virtual world, which he claims can be interacted with in a realistic way. The term virtual reality was officially coined by Jaron Lanier, who was the founder of Visual Programming Lab. His company was credited for being the first company to sell virtual reality goggles, which were sold for $9,400 each, and also virtual reality gloves, which were sold for $9,000 each. This was a major step for making virtual reality an accessible option for people all around the globe. The impact that technology has had on humanity has drastically changed people's lifestyle over the years, and the advent of virtual reality technology has only produced mixed feelings about its potential benefit on society. With the discovery of this revolutionary piece of technology, this brings up the question of how will the globalization of virtual reality technology affect human interactions and be a positive benefit to society. Virtual reality exploded in the 21st century. Society's rapid advancement in smartphone technology helped to pave the way for the growing industry. Virtual reality technology is finally at a price where small-time entrepreneurs could also join in on the virtual reality research. On July 4, 2012, 19-year-old Palmer Luckey became the first to develop a cost-efficient visual and motion tracking goggles. He called it the Oculus Rift. The Oculus Rift consists of two separate displays with two lenses, one for each eye. They both, however, are placed on a single display to give the feeling of total immersion. The device allows the user to see two different images shifted horizontally, which creates the illusion of depth. It also contains an orientation sensor, a gyroscope, an accelerometer, and a magnetometer to allow for close to perfect motion detection. The biggest feat that the Oculus Rift accomplished was to give the user a feeling of presence with no latency. Presence refers to the ability of making the user feel as if the virtual world is real. It has been studied that people will smile back at a smiling avatar, or take a step back when another avatar comes uncomfortably close to them. Despite these impressive capabilities, many people feel as if this technology promotes only the negative aspects of society today. The American Academy of Neurology found a strong connection between video games and the release of dopamine. Dopamine is a natural chemical that causes a feeling of pleasure, which is often associated with gambling and drug addiction. They also describe that video games can risk one's socialization and personal relationships, and that heavy video gamers often experience a feeling of restlessness or have an increased chance of irritability when unable to play video games. This helped to support the conclusion that video games was a form of escape from the struggles of day-to-day life. Unfortunately, some people actually died from large periods of gaming. In Taiwan last year, a 33-year-old man was found dead after a 3-day gaming binge at an internet cafe. Ryan Van Cleve explained to The Guardian in 2011 that living inside these games seemed preferable to the drudgery of everyday life. As a result, many groups have formed to help individuals who seem to lose interest in society and to rehabilitate them into society. In the advent of virtual technology, escapism will become quite common in the future as people will be able to experience better lives in the virtual worlds. Another definition of unhealthy escapism is the effect it has on their essential fabric of living, the individual in context of family, friends, and social commitments. Andrew Evans wrote in This Virtual Life, according to the renowned psychologist Abraham Maslow, one's hierarchy of need ranks love and sense of belonging just after basic sociological and safety needs. This implies that many people are not getting attention and are not being able to find their happy place in reality, which forces them into isolation within their virtual worlds. Zuckerberg comments that this is really a new communication platform due to its future applications, which allows people to interact more easily with people online by making them actually feel as if they're speaking face-to-face to each other. This will help to allow people to stay in contact with other humans despite the growing problem of people trying to escape reality. Virtual reality enhances human interactions, bringing together people from around the world to engage and interact, regardless of social, economic, or geographic disparities. This spurred the growth in the educational field of virtual reality, where many companies such as Zspace and Alchemy VR have dedicated to providing schools with packaged educational content and technology to bring virtual reality inside the classroom. Many classes uses the VR tools to collaborate architectural models, recreations of historic or natural sites, and other recordings. Virtual reality allows for more visual and hands-on teaching for the fields of science such as biology, anatomy, and geology and astronomy. with the use of enriched opportunities to interact with dimensional objects, animals, and environments, the Oculus Rift allows for a whole new aspect in how students can learn about a subject. A company called Eon Reality found that virtual reality holds on students' attention span for 100% longer than normal and also increases their test scores by 30%. Virtual reality has expanded over the last decade in its applications on those with disorders, cognitive deficits, dizziness, phobia, pain, neglect, musculoskeletal injuries, and visual impairments. The use of virtual reality technology helped to encourage doctors to come up with unique and different forms of treatments by providing patients with motivating environments to help them recover from their ailments.
At some point in time, we might see where we can actually take the simulated environment and make it a case-specific environment. That is, you have somebody with a particularly challenging disease or surgery coming up, and the surgeon themselves could actually run through it and have the imaging and and different parts of it built into the software, so the surgeon can actually have an opportunity to practice a case before they actually do that particular case.
Another area that virtual reality can be utilized is in counseling. Virtual reality is a good form of treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. The U.S. government have already started implementing virtual reality situations, so soldiers are taught how to deal with the symptoms. The possibility for virtual reality in the medical field is endless, and the industry has barely even established itself. Virtual reality's influence has only proliferated in recent years due to its unique position as a versatile tool. Despite many people's concern how the technology will potentially cause the deaths of many people who may neglect their well-being, virtual reality has an obvious potential influence in the understanding of the human mind. In addition, virtual reality technology allows for a safer and more efficient form of rehabilitation for patients in clinics and allows for a more interactive classroom environment in schools and colleges. Virtual reality is where the future is heading, as it holds a substantial amount of potential in how it will influence the minds of society's future students and how doctors will improve the minds of unstable patients.